Hey everybody, Buell Daddy 208 here. Mixing up the format a little bit for the weekly car update podcast and whatnot. We're going to try this out and see how people like it, see how I like it. So bear with me while we kind of do something a little different this time around. But today's subject, the new Camaro ZL1. So last week, a few articles surfaced on the new 2018 Camaro ZL1, which we've all been expecting. There have been teaser shots, a little bit of information leaking out here and there, and things that we could assume already based on General Motors' previous ZL1 they came out with in the 5th generation Camaros and how it shared engines and certain things with the Corvette. So there was some stuff we weren't too surprised about when we heard, yeah, it's got the supercharged LT4. We knew that. It's got MagneRide suspension. We knew that. It's got a whole bunch of little aero features here and there. One thing that was kind of surprising and really cool is it turns out they're taking a little bit of a GT350 and GT350R approach to the new ZL1. So there's not only a ZL1, there's a ZL1 1LE. It's a bit of a fucking mouthful, huh? That's going to have all the crazy aero. It's going to have the bigger wheels and tires, even over the standard ZL1, reduced weight, yada, yada, yada. You get the picture. It's the track version, then they've got the badass street car version. So just to go over some of the basic specs on this car, it's got Chevrolet's supercharged LT4 engine, 650 horsepower, 650 foot-pounds of torque. That's a lot of juice. It's got it. Obviously, MagneRide suspension, big 6-pot Brembo brakes. I think the Michelin Pilot tires, active exhaust, potentially on the 1LE package, active differential like on the Z06. But one thing that kind of struck me as interesting about the car, and not interesting in a bad way, is the top speed. Now, for some of you that are watching, you already know this, but the car, the official top speed of the new ZL1 is 198 miles an hour. This thing absolutely fucking moves. The biggest issue with that is that Chevrolet and General Motors' current baddest car on the block, the Z06 Corvette, has an aerodynamically restricted top speed of 186 miles per hour. That's less. Now, the way that they determined the top speed of the ZL1 obviously was in testing. They took it out to a big track. It had a lot of space. They got a guy. He had big guillons. He laid on the fucking throttle until it went super fast. Apparently, the way that they do it is they go one direction. They take the speed. They turn the car around. They run it flat out the opposite direction. They take that speed. They average them together, and that's the official speed. So to reach 198 miles per hour is the official top speed of the vehicle. That means on one pass it did about 193, and on another pass it did about 202. So this is an extremely fast car in every measure. It does over 1G on the skid pad. I'm sure it brakes like crazy. 0 to 60 times they're saying are around 3.5 seconds. It's probably going to run the quarter mile in mid to low 11s at around 122 miles an hour. I would imagine, obviously nobody's really tested the car yet, so it's hard to say, but these are all really safe estimates based on how the Z06 performs, how the standard 455 horsepower SS performs, other vehicles that have this kind of horsepower in this weight range, how they perform. So it's a very exciting car, a very exciting package. The biggest thing outside of the top speed that stuck out to me is in comparing it to the Corvette, the only thing that came to mind was marketplace cannibalism, to be 100% honest. I'm not a very old guy, but I do remember when they got rid of the 4th gen F-bodies, the twins, the Firebird and the Camaro. They were done, kaputs, and we didn't see them again until 2009, so they're gone for 7 years. Now, the main reason that General Motors claimed that they got rid of those cars was reduced sales. What a lot of people who were old enough to remember at the time and have a little bit of a better understanding about, I guess, the marketplace and business in general, is that they were the Corvette C5, the base model one, and the higher trim levels of the Pontiac and the Camaro, so your SS and your WS6 Trans Am, they were taking shares away from each other. And potential customers for either model of vehicle were going to the other cars. So they were kind of taking sales away from all three. The Pontiac already sold the poorest out of all of them even though it was mechanically identical to the Camaro, it was just not as well received. And the Camaro was probably taking sales away from the Corvette, because not everybody that goes to buy a performance Chevrolet is going to get a Corvette. If there are other options, they might be very appealing. To some people, it could be only Corvette, only way to go. I don't want anything but a Corvette. And these guys and gals, they're going to buy Corvettes no matter how much they cost, what other offerings General Motors or other companies have at that point. They want a Corvette. And that's fine. I want a Corvette. I'd like a lot of Corvettes. They're cool fucking cars and a lot of fun to drive. But the Camaros kind of took that away too, because the thing that sticks out is you go, well, do I want a fully loaded Camaro for set amount of money? Say back in 2002, say it was 30 grand. I can't exactly remember exactly what it was with markup, but it was probably in that area. So say about $30,000, or I can get a base C5 for about 35. Now, some people are going to say, well, the Corvette's more exotic. No matter what, I'll buy the Corvette. And some people are going to say, well, this Camaro and the Corvette, they have the same amount of horsepower. This one, the Corvette, it's plain Jane, no crazy fun brakes, no anything really special. It's just a Corvette. But this Camaro, for a few $1,000s less, well, that's really tempting. It's got cool everything, and it's the top of the line one. Oh, it's an anniversary car? Absolutely, I'll take it. So fast forward, it's 2017 now. This was 15 years ago when they officially ended the Camaro, the 4th gen. They brought it back in 2009, like I said. We're in 2017. They just released a few days ago the specifications for the ZL1. It's going to be an absolute rocket. It's going to be totally fantastic, but like I was saying, marketplace cannibalism. This is the fastest car that General Motors has ever manufactured as a production vehicle, something they're going to sell to the public. It is faster than the Z06 they currently sell right now. The biggest problem with that, let me just cruise over here super fast and check a few of these things out. So the price, the base price for a Z06 Corvette, somewhere around $100,000. Let's look it up really quick. Doing my internet thing. Chevrolet.com, vehicles, performance, boom. Corvette. Okay, and there's a couple of interesting points to make here. So the base MSRP of a Z06 Corvette, no performance packages, no stages, nothing really fancy, which if you're going to drop 80 grand on a Corvette, you're going to spend an extra 20 and get the full pop, right? You're going to get the baddest one they have. So build and price. So the base price of a Z06 Corvette, LT4 engine, 650 horse, 650 foot-pounds of torque, top speed 186 miles an hour, seating for two, $80,000. MSRP base price for the ZL1, 198 miles an hour, seating for four, comparable performance, $63,000. $17,000 less. More than likely, the way that the dealerships have the Corvettes spec'd out, the Z06s, they're going to be the staged cars, 1, 2, and 3, I believe, with the different aero, a little bit different wheels and tires, just a little bit extra, but it's a lot of money for these things. They're probably going to be closer to 100 or 105 or 110 after the extra package and the markup. Base ZL1, yeah, there's going to be a markup on it, but it's still close to a $40,000 difference. I mean, at least with the MSRPs, you can say that's only $17,000. It's not that bad. But what does that say when you look at other Chevrolets? When you look at the fact that a base model Corvette, only 455 horsepower, that's $55,000. What about that? I would say, and this might be something that people don't agree with, that Chevrolet and General Motors are possibly repeating history a little bit here. Back 10 or 15 years ago, when I was first really getting into cars, General Motors had an absorbent amount of brands. They had Buick, they had Hummer, they had Pontiac, they had Saturn, they had Chevrolet, GMC, obviously Cadillac, a few other brands that I can't remember right off the top of my head, but they owned a ton of companies. Buick, there's another one. Old Oldsmobiles, I remember the Alero. in the 1990s when I was a kid. That thing was a piece of shit then. Still is. So this was an issue. If you look now, they've downsized considerably. I believe right now it's just Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC, and what's the other one? I think that's it. But it's only a handful. It's nothing like it used to be. It used to be they had this humongous umbrella with a ton of brands, a ton of different things that were underneath that, sold in the United States and Canada. And it didn't work because they were just building all these cars that were effectively the same or filled the same role for similar prices, and the only difference was the branding. So there was almost no benefit to go to anything else. Right now, the cars that they have, they've got the Corvette Z06, they've got the ZL1, they've got the CTS-V, all have the LT4 engine. I imagine at some point in time the SS is going to get the LT4 engine as well. The Cadillac lineup, kind of the CTS-V kind of slots right in between where the Corvette Grand Sport and the Z06 are with the supercharged engine. But the point I'm making is you look at Corvette, Camaro, and the CTS Cadillacs, and I actually believe the ATS-Vs start at $62,000 too. So between $55,000 and $100,000, this price range for the performance GMs, I think they have 6 or 7 offerings right now. All cars that perform relatively closely to each other. They have similar horsepower figures. Obviously, the Cadillacs are probably going to be a lot nicer to drive and ride in on a daily basis than these other cars, but the 5th Gen ZL1 that I got to ride around in, that thing was pretty damn comfortable. That was a nice car. It was fast, too. That had the old 556 horsepower supercharged 6.2, not the new one, the LT4. But do you see the point I'm making with marketplace cannibalism here? If I had the money to buy a Z06 Corvette and I was going to use it as a street car like most people that buy these cars do, and I wasn't a diehard Corvette guy, I just wanted, let's say I was just like, man, I love GMs, I want the baddest fucking one they make right now. It ain't the Corvette anymore. It's the ZL1. 186 versus 198, that's 12 miles an hour. That is a substantial amount of speed on that end of the speed spectrum. So, I guess in closing, what do you think? Do you think the new ZL1 is possibly encroaching on some Corvette sales? Do you think that General Motors has maybe made a little bit of a mistake with the pricing or the performance level of the Camaro? Has their quest to destroy the evil Mustang possibly fucked them a little bit here? Because let's not lie, this car is going to be fucking awesome, and I can't wait to see how fast it is. But when I see the prices, it just, goddamn, I think they might have fucked up a little bit. As always, like, comment, share, crush the subscribe button. Just let me know what you think. Am I right here? Am I wrong? Am I a fucking idiot? What do you think of the new format? Just let me know. Thank you for watching, and I guess I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching that video. I really appreciate it if you'd hit that like button, leave a comment, and crush fucking subscribe. Stay tuned for more of my videos. And I actually think up over here, somewhere around here, somewhere on the screen, there's going to be links to other videos that I've done if you'd like to keep watching me, hearing me ramble on about random bullshit. So yeah, thanks for watching the video, and I guess check some of the other shit out.